east here. And this, again, is the same storm that was producing a tornado between Gallatin and Hendersonville as it continued to move through portions of Tennessee. This has been a very strong storm, and it still has enough rotation in it to where it could still be producing a tornado, or has the possibility to be dropping another tornado here. So Tompkinsville to Burkesville, that's where we have the tornado warning that is in effect right now. Elsewhere, the warning is still in effect for Hart County, but that should be coming to a close here soon. The cold front itself is moving through Nashville, and once we get this storm to Cumberland and Clinton County, that is when most of the area, most of our viewing area, will be out of the risks here. Once we get it really more so out of, I should say, Cumberland and Clinton counties will be out of the risk for a good portion of the viewing area here. But right now we do have that tornado warning that is in effect for southern Monroe County over there towards Tompkinsville, and also into Cumberland County here, and that does include Burkesville. We're not seeing a great signature showing up on velocity here, and again, this is where we kind of get an idea of where the strongest rotation is. It's a little difficult to see right now. Might be able to change the radar location just a little bit, but this, yeah, there's still certainly a little bit of rotation just to the east of Gamale, Harlan Crossroads, and Tompkinsville. A possible tornado passing just to the south of Tompkinsville towards Harlan Crossroads. Meshack and Stallcup and Radern, you want to be in your safe zone right now. Away from windows, interior closet, pillows, blankets, good idea. If you're out in Burkesville, we do have the tornado warning that is in effect. You have a little bit of extra time to seek that safe location. And for folks in vehicles, hopefully you're finding a good place to park, head into a sturdier structure, or you're just about to make your way back home. But we do have a new tornado warning that is in effect for southern Monroe County and portion of west central Cumberland County. And yeah, we can see actually right now starting to get maybe a little bit of a recycling of this storm as it passes by Harlan Crossroads just outside of Tompkinsville. We do have a bit more of rotation being picked up by radar here, and so this is again just outside the Tompkinsville area. Be in your safe spot right now. Do not try to venture outside to see what's going on. But it certainly looks like we've definitely got some rotation still in the storm. Not the best radar spot we're at here, but if there's rotation aloft, there can certainly be rotation closer to the surface. So the storm continues to pass by Harlan Crossroads, just outside of Tompkinsville. Stay in your safe zone. Otia, you're in the path of the storm here. And also Meshack, you want to stay in that safe zone. You've got a little bit of time, but not too much. So I'm going to put another track on this. And you can see Williams School, Otia. This is over the next less than 5 minutes now. Meshack, about 8 minutes. Cloyd's Landing, Young School. We'll put a timestamp at about 15 minutes or so, probably a little bit less than that right now. And out there into Burkesville, I would say just a little bit past 6:30. That's likely when the storm will be kind of knocking on your door. But we still do have a tornado warning in effect for the viewing area. This is, again, Monroe County. The storm has passed by Gamale. It is just to the south of Tompkinsville. It passed over Harlan Crossroads. This is just radar indicated Keyston. That's where the storm will pass. Just to the north, and we got the Williams School out there. Sulphur Bridge School. Meshack over the next 10 minutes or so. So if you're again just coming on with us, or if you've been following us for the last 4 hours or so, we're glad you can rely on us for your severe weather coverage here, because we still do have a tornado warning in portions of the area.
And you can put it on the massage and then just massage the serum in. Your skin feels plump and so happy.
Sonic Skin Revitalize.
Stronger rotation here, but you are definitely you're not in the clear yet. Still have that tornado warning in effect. You want to stay in that safe zone. Here's how radar is looking. Jump out, look at some other locations. You can see we no longer have the warning in effect for Hart County, just some scattered showers around Bowling Green. So the main threat right now is out here. We do have that tornado warning in effect for Monroe and Cumberland County. I would expect this warning probably get trimmed back a little bit over the next 10 minutes or so. We certainly have some wind. You'll notice that we are seeing a bit of a bow right here. That's always indication that you've got some very strong winds, and likely the rotation is kind of right in this area right here, where you have this little bit of a indentation right here. It's probably in this area where you have some more rotation. But when you start to see storms bow, and that becomes the predominant feature, that generally means that strong winds are the main threat. Strong winds, and of course some hail as well. So this tornado warning does continue for the next 11 minutes here. Let's get a new track on the storm. So we're going to erase that track here, and I'm going to go back to our velocity product, which again kind of tells us where the stronger winds are, or at least where the rotation is, where you see the green and the red. It's still pretty broad, and of course that's aloft, that's higher up in the atmosphere, but can always translate down to the surface. So as I put a new track on this, zoom out a little bit more. So Burkesville, yeah, about the next 20 minutes or so. Otia, Meshack, within 5 minutes or so. Waterview, give it about 10 to 15 minutes here. Okay, now the tornado warning has been trimmed back now just a little bit. As I was saying before, that would likely happen, but we still have that area of rotation over here just to it's likely more southeast of Tompkinsville as we speak.
I do have the Burkesville camera pulled up, but it's approaching. If you want to pull that up, definitely a lot of lightning.
Okay, yeah, good point. Let's check out Burkesville right now. And it's going to be hard to really see much with this camera, but here's a look in Burkesville right now. This is kind of, it's very hilly out there into Burkesville, and so this is kind of up on a ridge looking down, and obviously there's a lot of lights, but if you look out in the distance, we are getting some good flickers of lightning as the storm does get a little bit closer. So this is a live look right now in Burkesville, out there into Cumberland County, where we do have a tornado warning that is in effect. Radar indicated tornado. No tornadoes have been confirmed on the ground. And again, between Tompkinsville and Burkesville, that's where we do have the greatest severe weather threat right now. Everywhere else, the threat is greatly diminishing. Most of the area kind of in the clear right now, as we're dealing with some of that colder wind blowing in. But here's a live look out there in Burkesville. right now where we do have a tornado warning that is in effect, and it will continue for the next 8 minutes. And when you see the lightning flicker, I think that's a pretty good shelf cloud starting to move overhead right now. But we may also have a possible tornado, and of course it's at night, and so you really have to heighten your guard at night when we deal with the tornado warning. So remain in your safe zone into Burkesville. And after we get off this Facebook Live, after the threat has diminished, once we get off of air, we will kind of reconvene as a weather team and look at a lot of the pictures and images that we've received. Right now, Tompkinsville, just outside of that warning, but Radern and Burkesville, we do have the tornado warning that does continue for the next 7 minutes or so. Still enough rotation to keep this warning going. All right, we'll go back to composite radar, pause. All right, so let's put another track on this. So this storm continues to really bolt by Burkesville. So give it about less than 10 minutes now in Burkesville. Claywell, around 10 minutes or so. Sometimes I like to reduce these times by maybe just a couple of minutes. And out there into Bryan, that's starting to take us out of our true viewing area here. But the storms are still pushing through Monroe and Cumberland County right now. Probably some very strong winds being felt around the Burkesville area. Ellington as well, Stallcup, Radern. You're getting a pretty strong push of wind right now, maybe in excess of 60, 70 miles per hour. But you can certainly see that bowing feature that we're looking at right now, that bow right there indicating where we have some very powerful winds. And right in this area, kind of that little notch, that's where we likely have at least enough rotation to where we could still have a tornado there, although it's just been radar indicated. Still remain in your safe zone. And as the storm continues to move further away from radar, we have to change the radar location. Just so that we can look at the storm from a different spot. Let's see. Yeah, unfortunately, when we're at this location, it's a little. This area, unfortunately, a little bit of a radar gap here. So it's hard to find a really good radar. Actually, Nashville may be the best. Looking at where we're located here, so if I turn on Nashville's radar, yeah, it's the same one. We're getting higher into the storm here, and I think right now probably the main threat is going to be maybe strong, damaging winds, and so I would expect that threat to continue through southern parts of Cumberland County and eventually out there into Clinton County. But elsewhere, that's really it right now. Of course, farther into southern Tennessee, we saw some warnings. So there's also warnings down there into Mississippi. But we're still keeping an eye on this storm as it does approach Burkesville, Ellington, as it is really now crossing over into Monroe County. Still got some gusty winds, or crossing on over into Cumberland County from Monroe County. Still some gusty winds around the Tompkinsville area. Just reading some of the comments here. So a lot of people are just staying on because they're just fascinated with the weather, which that's another thing I can really appreciate about folks around this area. They're very weather savvy, weather aware too. So thank you guys for following our coverage, and of course if you're out there in Burkesville or anywhere in southern Cumberland County, please take shelter. Still have the tornado warning in effect. I can tell you we definitely probably are dealing with winds 50, 60, even 70 miles per hour. Some hail in there as well. Show you what our hail possibility is right now. Where you see that green, yeah, that's indicating some hail. We've had reports of pea-size, maybe up to quarter-size hail, but the hail hasn't been the greatest story.
New warning, guys.
Obviously, the bigger story is the tornado and the wind threat.
That's a severe thunderstorm warning.
Now it looks like we've just got a severe thunderstorm warning in effect. Maybe allowing that warning, the tornado warning in southern Cumberland County to expire.
So they have it moving east now at 50 miles an hour with wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour.
So yeah, we still are dealing with those really, really strong winds and potentially some hail as the storm is really becoming wind dominated right now. So there's a chance that this warning could just be allowed to expire coming up here in 2 minutes, and when it does, we'll send you right back to regular scheduled programming. But we still have the warning in effect for Burkesville. You can really see a good comma feature on this storm, indicating that we do have some very, very strong winds and also some hail over there towards the Kettle area and Burkesville as well. Here's another look at our camera. That's really been lighting up. The lightning has really been showing up very well as the storm continues to move into the area. Seems like my computer wants to keep on giving me fits right now, but again, we are continuing to monitor a tornado warning that we have in effect for southern Cumberland County, and that may be expiring here in just a couple of moments. We also have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for southern Cumberland County as well as Clinton, and that's because we could be facing winds 60 to 70 miles per hour as they continue to move towards the east. So we're not out of the woods just yet, but we are certainly still dealing with some very, very intense storms.
We do have a quick update too from the National Weather Service up in Louisville. So the severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued for the extension of that tornado warning, so they have downgraded it to a severe thunderstorm, but they have added a tornado possible tag. So with, when you've got some of those really strong winds, even with that Boeing segment, you can sometimes get little kinks within the line as it's pushing through, and that's where you can maybe sometimes see those winds colliding and create a little bit of that rotation. So do not let your guard down entirely if you are in that severe thunderstorm warning. You definitely still do not want to be outside if you are with winds of upwards of 60, 70 miles an hour. It's still definitely not a safe situation. So just remain indoors. And honestly, the sun has set for the day, and it's going to be getting cold here soon. So just stay inside tonight, play it safe, and we will continue to monitor as additional warnings are issued for tonight. But I think we're kind of starting to dwindle down a little bit for the night, which is a good sign.
We are, yeah, and with the tornado tag still on that storm, we'll stay on air for our friends out there in the Cumberland and Clinton County. Can we actually switch the max to really quick here? Okay, thank you. The computer keeps freezing up on me. Doing a lot of work here, so we are still going to stay on air because we do have the potential for maybe an isolated tornado showing up. There are often times in which a tornado warning doesn't necessarily have to be put out, but there could be a severe thunderstorm that is racing. And a lot of times when these storms race, they can generate their own twisting motion, and so that's when you can get maybe a brief tornado. Normally those are fairly weak, and really the bigger threat is going to be those strong damaging winds. And right now the worst of the weather is moving through Littrell and Burkesville as we speak, and it should start pushing into Clinton County here shortly and making it all the way towards Albany by about 6:46 or so.
So Yeah, the storm, and when I was mentioning those different kinks within the cell, so you have this bowing segment that's leading right out. It's right now near Latrell, Burkesville, down to Paytonsburg. But then you've got these little kinks that are just behind it here. Sometimes you can get a little bit of spin right there if it's just right.